What up, everybody? It's April Dawn. I'm here for the Sinner Part 8. It's our finale, so let's go ahead and get into it. Yeah, I know I'm late, but let's just go ahead and get started. Don't talk about me too bad. We rejoin Cora in the basement. This is after her flashback from the last episode. She's remembered pretty much everything that happened to her that night, except for the part after she got hit in the head with the ashtray. She still doesn't remember where she was for the 2 months and all the stuff that had transpired during that time, right? But Harry is reinvigorated because now he says he can find a witness from that night now that they know what happened. So he's determined to track down this witness. He's a little discouraged because they still haven't found the wallpaper that we keep seeing in her visions. He can't find that anywhere. It's not anywhere in the country club. We get a note from the police, and the police say that they don't find Cora's DNA. There's no trace of her DNA at Beverwick, but the body that was buried turns out to be Phoebe's body and not Maddie's body like we originally thought. So we know something did happen. Her sister did get buried. We just don't know what happened. They also found Todd, and we found out that Todd, basically after that night, he took his wife to renew their vows, and he stayed there for a month. But he died 2 years ago. So we can't talk to Todd either. Todd is dead. Dead to the island, child. He gone. The police have identified the man who drove away from JD's house. His name is Duffy, and he runs some type of shady business. So high school homegirl pulls up to the scene first, and Harry pulls up after her. He goes in without backup, which was stupid. And you can see that the business is shady as soon as he walks through the door. Some girls sitting in the lobby, and the guy who's at the desk tells him to leave. This is a private business. All of a sudden, the guy Duffy walks into the door. He turns around, and Harry calls him by name, and the guy takes off running. He pulls out a gun, and high school homegirl shoots him in the street. So there's another witness that's down. The guy that's left, he explains to police that Duffy killed JD because he was nervous about all the police activity that was going on around JD. It really didn't have anything to do with that night. So Harry's a little discouraged, like I said, because he can't find the connection to Cora. So he tells all this to Cora, and Cora says, you know what, I just want to tell the judge what happened because I'm a white lady and they're going to let me out of jail if I just say I'm sorry because this is what happened to me. And he was like, girl, that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works, girl. You can't just go to the judge and be like, hey, girl, guess what? I made a mistake. I didn't really mean to kill him. Well, I thought, he was there, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he ain't do nothing wrong. Like, girl... No, Cora, it's not going to be that type of party. This is like the justice system. Like, you pleaded guilty, girl. They're going to lock you up. They won't let her out. Okay, I digress. So Cora's mama come to visit her, and it's not a happy visit. I'm thinking they're going to have some type of resolution, but clearly that's not the case. Cora's mom said that she's disgusting. Okay, that Cora is disgusting. Cora says that she does not regret taking Phoebe out. She danced, she drank, she had sex, she fell in love, and she looked more happy than she had ever been before, and that's when her mama calls her disgusting. She says, but Phoebe was buried in the woods, girl. Like, she did all of that, and she also got buried in the woods. Touche. She did get buried in the woods. I'm just saying. She had a point on that one. She said, why didn't you report us missing? Why didn't you report us missing when we left? And mom says, because I thought y'all ran away. Don't you think I heard you whispering about going to Florida? You was just poisoning my daughter against me. She said, and look at you now. Look at where you are, basically. And she says, Mom, I'm more free than I've ever been with you. We can see they ain't gonna have no happy Thanksgiving dinner together because, yeah, they just don't like each other like that. And there's no happy resolution. So at the hearing, Cora cannot stop herself from standing up and pleading her case. She basically just blurts out what happened. Somebody killed my sister, and I don't know what happened, and those people are still out there. And the judge was like, girl, that's cute or whatever, but like, you pleaded guilty, and ain't nobody got time for that. You waive your right to a trial, so this was gonna happen. You going to jail for 30 years. Oh, damn. Everybody was like, oh, 30 years? Girl, that's forever, girl. Oh my God, that's forever. We're sad. I'm sad. Harry sad. The mama sad. Everybody sad. Like, she apologized to Frankie parents for killing him. Because all in all, Frankie really wasn't that bad of a guy. He just got caught up in a real bad situation. In a real bad situation. She got 30 years. And that's a wrap. So one happy scene we got was Mason brings Lane. That's the little boy name, not Blaine. It's Lane. He brings Lane to see Cora. They have a nice happy moment between them. It's nice to see her smile and him smile at her and interact with her baby. You can tell she missed her baby. So they have a little small talk, and she says that he shouldn't bring him here. She don't know if that's healthy for the baby. And Mason is like, hell no, I'm going to bring him up here because he needs to see his mama. I'm going to be back here every week. Girl, what is you talking about? I like Mason when he's like this instead of when he playing detective, okay? Because he don't know what the hell he doing. So he just needs to stick to being a daddy and coming up there on visits today because ain't nobody got time to be cleaning up his messes. Thank you, Mason. Get yourself together. Harry is hurt by that sentence, but he's still determined to find out what happened that night. So he tracks down Maddie, who has now changed her name. He tracked her down by looking for all the babies named Willow. So he tracked down Maddie. Maddie says that night after she left the place, she got on a bus, she went to her sister's house, and JD was calling her, talking about a new business opportunity selling Oxy. Now, Harry just stands there looking at the sky, and, you know, I don't know how he put all this together, but some type of way he put all this together to figure out what's going on. The next scene, we seeing Cora in cuffs, and she's going into Frankie Belmont's home with his parents, and she's walking around the house trying to figure out what's going on, and she walks into this upstairs bedroom. She looks out of this window that she sees, and then she touches the wall, and a little bit of the wallpaper peels off, and guess what's underneath? The wallpaper! The wallpaper! The wallpaper! It's the wallpaper. She sees the wallpaper. All of a sudden, we in a flashback. Beverwick. After everything happened, Frankie called his dad. His dad comes to find Phoebe dead and Cora knocked out. So Frankie says they need to call the police, and JD says no because he just was knee deep up in a very sick girl who was high, and it's not going to be a good look, and he just going to have to tell the officers what's going on, okay? He going to have to tell them the truth. So they send Frankie home, and his dad stays with JD. They go out to the woods by the bus, and they bury Phoebe's body. Now, during this time, Cora wakes up, and she kind of sees what's going on, and so the dad goes to knock her out with the shovel, but he can't do it. He realized that he can't do it, and so he takes her home. So basically, he is the man with the scrubs and the mask on, nursing her back to health. Well, not nursing her back to health because he's pumping her arms up with heroin, trying to get her to forget what she saw that night and what happened. But he does take care of her, as in he bathes her, he combs her hair, and it's not like in a gross way. It's in like a I feel so guilty about what I did way. Okay, I'm really not this type of person, but I'm doing it for my son way. Okay, you know what I'm saying? So he does that to her. Once he's convinced that she has forgotten everything that happened, he dumps her out on the street, and that's when she gets found, go to rehab and all of that stuff. So she finally figures this out when she goes downstairs. She looks at him and says, I know I did it for you. Yeah, I know you did it for your son. And he looks at her and he starts crying and says he's so sorry. So that's basically admission of guilt, which is basically going to keep her, you know, was going to get her out of jail, because would she be able to prove this any other way? Probably not. I mean, just saying, oh, I remember wallpaper and it's wallpaper. Like, I don't know about this. Basically, what Harry has figured out is that JD was blackmailing Frankie's dad and getting Frankie's dad to give him the license number for all the different doctors so he can get prescriptions so the girls can go pick up the drugs and they can sell the Oxy. So he had been doing that for years after, you know, this happened to the father. So JD was just trash, child, in life and death. Trash forever. That should be on his eulogy. Life and death. Trash. He was a trash ass person, period. So Harry tells her on the way home, you know, that he saw himself in her. That's why he got so drawn to the case. You know, whatever happened to them in their childhood was not their fault. And so I really believe that Harry liked to get beat up because he probably got his ass whooped when he was a kid, and so that's the only way he know how to receive love or something like that. So he's broken on a little bit on the inside. So we go to court, and where her defense attorney was not cutting for her at all at the beginning, baby, she was up there defending her like she was Johnny Cochran. And so she was giving me all the good speech and all the monologue, and the judge was like, okay, that's real cute. We thought she was going to get out of jail, child. She was like, and not to keep her in jail a day longer. Everybody took a deep breath. We're going to put her in a treatment facility for 2 years. Girl, that's what I'm talking about, because that's what happens in real life. You don't just get out of jail, okay, for killing somebody. Even if you wasn't in the right mental state, you need to go to the mental hospital, because we don't need you jumping on nobody else, stabbing them 7 times in their neck, girl. So you got to go get monitored, okay, before we let you back into the free world. She happy with that. At the end, she greets Harry, and we realize that both of them have never had such an intimate relationship with another person. You know, so like their friendship is a connection between the two of them that they will probably have forever. So she gives him thanks, they hug each other, and he goes to the car and he looks at his fingers and he sees the broken fingernails. So we're left hanging to know as, is this something that he's going to work on to change? Is this something that he's going to lean more into? Or, you know, we don't know. So we hope the best for Harry. I thought all in all was a good season. We could have did without some of the misleading flashbacks, but overall I thought it was a really good show. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will holler at y'all for the next one. I think I'm going to do How to Get Away with Murder. We'll see. It's kind of confusing, but I think I can figure it out. Y'all like my hair? All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.